Hello, Homestead. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for a moment of silence. Hello, Homestead. It's Friday, January 27th, and time for another episode of HHS In Depth. I'm Madison McConaughey.
And I'm Colin Davis. On today's show, you'll hear from Mr. Ginder in our annual beginning of second semester conversation, where you'll learn what he wants the student body to focus on this semester.
We'll check in with Homestead students and faculty who got to witness last week's inauguration in Washington, D.C.
We bring you a special student profile this week over 4 students who have spent the winter in gymnasiums broadcasting games involving our Spartan basketball teams.
Austin Render brings us another sports corner this week over last Friday's Champions Together game, where you'll learn about our exceptional Homestead student athletes.
We'll have all those stories as well as weekend weather with Garrett Willis, so stay tuned for today's episode of HHS In Depth.
We begin today's show with our annual beginning of the semester interview I had with Principal Mr. Ginder to learn what his thoughts are for the rest of this school year. This week, I had the chance to sit down with Principal Mr. Ginder to discuss hopes for this semester. Mr. Ginder anticipates that in this second semester, students will maintain the level of excellence that was displayed all throughout the first semester.
My encouragement would be, let's continue to be great at the things that we've become awesome at. Our current seniors have been a part of a redesign of our entire school in terms of behavior and attendance and being late or tardy to school. We just don't see those kind of issues the same way, the same frequency we did 4 years ago, and that had a lot to do with this particular senior class, so I would encourage that to continue. And our underclassmen have been super with that too. It's just become part of who we are. How we honor each other and honor the work that's done here. Make sure you're telling your teachers when you appreciate them and thanking them for the things they do. And remember our custodians and our cafeteria personnel, the teacher aides. It takes everybody to have an incredible school.
Just like any other year, students can expect a wide variety of activities available for them to participate in.
Well, I think there's always a lot of things to look forward to in any semester. I think our athletic programs obviously are outstanding. In basketball, obviously, but if you want to see some really great competition, get out and see the wrestling or gymnastics, which has went to state the last couple of years. So we get in the water and we're good in the pool as well. So get out and see your peers. And then remember things like Just Because Week, prom, dance marathon. That ought to be a really cool thing that our school hasn't experienced in the way that we're going to have that presented and support the kids at Riley. There's the musical, dance team, show choir, and then of course there's Senior Activities Day and graduation on June 3rd.
As we have passed the halfway mark for this school year, Mr. Ginder has some words for seniors before they wrap up their last semester of high school.
I think our encouragement to our seniors would be, we've loved you here. But your time is really out in front of you, and these are full of memories. High school is full of memories, but what you're about to experience after graduation is so much better, so much greater. However, we love to see our graduates come back, but I think what we are excited with every time there's a graduating class is to know that we had a small part in helping someone grow up and become their best self and to pursue their own dreams. That's what this has really been all about, and we're hopeful to see all of our seniors make that walk and be the class that sets a new graduation record here at Homestead as well.
Mr. Ginder encourages students to continue to work hard as we complete this school year. For HHS In Depth, I'm Madison McConaughey.
The deadline to register for the Spring Parent-Teacher Conference Practice SAT-ACT exam on March 4th will be Friday, February 17th. Visit the website hhsparentclubfw.com for more information or to download the registration form.
Biomed Club members, robotics club members, and all other students who may be interested. Biomed Club is hosting a meeting Wednesday, February 8th at 2:45 in Mrs. Barron's room. They will be hosting a urologist named Dr. DeBeja, who is ranked #1 in the state for his work with Da Vinci robotic surgical system and equipment during surgeries. All students are welcome to attend, and snacks will be provided.
The Homestead Ping Pong Club just might happen after all. If you are interested, you'll need to attend an organizational meeting on Tuesday, January 31st after school in Mr. Hill's room, room 210. Meet there at 2:45 to help turn this dream into a reality.
All DECA students planning on going to the state DECA competition, please see Mr. McNeil this week. Also, all written DECA papers are due today. Please sign up for a time in Mr. McNeil's room, room 523.
Last week, a new president was sworn into the Oval Office at the inauguration. Of the hundreds of thousands of people in attendance, a few were students and faculty from Homestead. To learn how that experience went for them, here's reporter Ali Qureshi.
While many of you were sitting in school during last Friday's inauguration, a group of Homestead students took the journey to Washington, D.C. to witness the swearing-in of President Donald Trump. Mr. Harkness and other teachers wanted to take the group of students to our nation's capital so they could observe the peaceful transfer of power.
The inauguration day was really cool. Exhausting, but cool. A lot of standing, a lot of walking, but it was cool to be part of that. It was part of history.
The trip was really, really awesome. I've never been over to that side of the United States before, and just being in DC and seeing how historical it is was so amazing. We learned so much stuff because we went to so many museums.
The trip was pretty fun. It was kind of a lot of walking though, because we couldn't really ride the bus around because for most of the time the city was locked down. But other than the walking, I thought it was really cool and really educational.
Since security was so tight for the event, many people had to find other means of transportation to get to the National Mall.
Well, because they had the city locked down so much, our bus parked about 3 miles away from the mall, and we walked 3 miles. Once we got within a couple blocks of the mall, we stood in a line for 4 hours and 20 minutes to get through one of the checkpoints.
We had to wait in a lot of lines and walk a long time and also stand a lot. And then when we got inside, it was a lot more standing, just waiting around. And we weren't really up where Trump was. We were like back where a big screen was, but it was still really awesome because just like being there and the whole experience.
Even though the inauguration was the main event, students did other things to learn about our nation's history.
Monuments at Arlington National Cemetery, the changing of the guard, the Holocaust Museum, the American History Museum, National Archives. Some of the things we saw were just incredible.
What I learned the most was the first day. We were in the Air and Space Museum and just going around there and looking at all the different aircrafts and just seeing all the different ways we've traveled to space and all that was pretty cool.
On top of all the museums that we saw and all the historical things, we also got to see much of the Women's March in DC, and that was really awesome to see because just seeing all those people come together after the inauguration and stand up for something they believe in was really awesome.
Witnessing the inauguration of an American president is always a special occasion, and taking a trip to Washington, D.C. proved to be a very valuable experience for this group of students. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Ali Qureshi.
Fall sports patches have arrived and are available for pickup in the athletic office. Please pick yours up at your earliest convenience.
Head on out to Audio Aficionados next Monday after school in room 600B. They'll be listening to Built to Spill's 1994 album, There's Nothing Wrong with Love. All are invited to come out even if you've never been to a meeting before.
And now here is a special student profile story over a group of 4 students who are at nearly every Homestead basketball game, not to play in the games, but to broadcast them on Homestead's radio station. Here's reporter Becca Malat.
One aspect of broadcasting on Homestead's radio station, the .91 FM, is announcing Homestead's athletic events. For 4 students, seniors Austin Rinder, Gabe Smith, and juniors Garrett Willis and Matt Schreck, being on the call for nearly every single football and basketball game has been a part of their culture since the first day of school their freshman year.
I got started in radio broadcasting as an 8th grader. I contacted Mr. Schenkel, and I got involved my freshman year right away with football and girls basketball, and then from sophomore year on, I've been the play-by-play broadcaster for all 3 sports.
For my freshman year, Austin asked me if I wanted to be a part of the broadcasting program and broadcast with him, be color commentator for him for the football games, and I thought it sounded really fun.
Mr. Schenkel approached me about trying out going onto the radio for a football game, and it just went on from there. I started doing it, and I like doing it.
Sports are a really big part of my life, and I wanted to be part of something bigger than just being a spectator for the event. So I thought that being able to be part of the media process of it and let other people enjoy the experience.
The 4 students play pivotal roles to make the entire broadcast over the course of the evening go smoothly and sound the best it possibly can.
I am the play-by-play guy for football, boys and girls basketball. What I do is I describe what's going on to the listeners at home who might not know what's going on the field or the court, so I make sure that I paint a picture for them of the action that's going on, whether it's football or basketball.
During basketball season, I'm usually a sideline reporter, which means I interview coaches and players, usually in the first quarter, at the end of half, and then at the end of the game, I'll interview players if the team wins.
I'm what they call a color analyst for our broadcast. You're not going to talk as much as the play-by-play guy, and that's okay. You come in for little bits and pieces, and you really help out the overall broadcast by just adding analysis to the game.
I've done color for a lot of games. I've done play-by-play for some of the girls' games on nights where we have the girls-boys SAC doubleheaders.
Not only do the sports broadcasters enjoy doing the games as a way to pass time through their high school years, they also plan on pursuing it as a career in their future.
I hope to go into the IU Media School next year and for the next 4 years down in Bloomington, and I hope to get involved right away with whatever I can help out with down there.
Hopefully it'll give me some experience going forward into college, maybe being able to pursue a longer career in sports broadcasting.
I'm hoping I can do it as a career. I'm going to college, and I'm going to major in journalism and broadcasting, and I'm really excited to do that. And I think everything I've done here has been a really good experience for me.
Render has gotten the opportunity to call some of the biggest moments in Homestead athletics history, which he hasn't taken for granted.
As the play-by-play broadcaster, I've got a front row seat to all the historic events and the big-time games that we've had here the past 4 years.
Trying to get inside, nothing there. Step back, open three, it's gone! Todd Curry knocks it down! Spartans win! Spartans win! The Spartans defeat the Greyhounds, 56-46 your final score. The Spartans are regional champions once again. 1 point away from 2,000. She gets the ball in the right wing. McLaughlin attacks the basket, pulls up for a jumper, knocks it down. 2,000 points for Carissa McLaughlin. Barring a miracle, this free throw will win the state championship. Guys, it's up. It's good. Spartans up by 4 with 9 seconds to go. The inbound from Stein to Sanford. Sanford lets the three fly. It's good. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. The Spartans are state champions. It's over. It's over. The Spartans are state champions for the first time in school history.
I would recommend it to anybody who loves talking about sports and loves going to Homestead Sports to get involved, because it really is a treat to get to be at every game. We get to sit right next to the court at every game for Homestead, both boys and girls. So I would highly recommend it to anyone who enjoys talking about and watching sports.
So remember, if you can't make it to a Homestead basketball game for the rest of this winter, you can tune in to the radio station at 91.1 FM or go online at wcyt.org to see how your Spartans are doing on the court. Reporting for HHS In Depth, I'm Becca Malott.
Looking for your tennis shoes? The Discipline Office has several bags of tennis shoes and gym clothes, and they're lost and found. Please stop by the office to claim your items.
And now here is HHS In Depth weatherman Garrett Willis with this weekend's weather forecast.
Hello Homestead, it's January 27th. I'm Garrett Willis, and this is your weekend weather forecast. Not really much happening tonight as we had our last weekend's record highs, as today we will reach a high of 31 with a low of 25 with cloudy skies and a chance of some scattered flurries throughout the night. Tomorrow on Saturday we will see a small chance for some scattered snow showers, but cloudy skies will define the day as we reach a high of 30 with a low of 23. And not much will change on Sunday as the high will get up to 29 with a low of 20, and once again cloudy skies will be expected throughout the day. That was your weekend weather forecast. I'm Garrett Willis. Have a great weekend, Homestead.
And now it's time for another Sports Corner with Austin Render. This week you'll learn all about our Champions Together team who wowed the crowd last week at halftime of the boys' basketball game.
Hello Homestead, I'm Austin Render back with another edition of the Sports Corner. Those of you who were at the basketball games this past Friday saw the Champions Together team play during the halftime of the boys' game. Here's a story about that team and all those who have helped make it possible.
This past Friday night wasn't a normal basketball game for the Champions Together kids. It was a chance for the kids who normally don't get to show their athletic talents to display them in front of Homestead's student body and the community.
Friday's game was amazing. The support that the student body brought, just the parents and the athletes, all the things I heard were positive. It just was really great to see the whole school come together and support their fellow athletes.
I made a lot of baskets. I cheered on my team. It was like to spend time with my family and my friends that got together and joined the group, and my family came and stuff, and it was fun.
Champions Together gives these kids an opportunity that they wouldn't normally get, and they love being part of the team.
Because I like being with my friends, I like spend time with my friends, like spend time with Trenton, everybody that's on a team.
I like playing basketball and shooting because it's really fun.
This isn't only a great event for the athletes, but it's a life-changing experience for those who are able to help the kids. The helpers get to create relationships with the athletes that would have been impossible without Champions Together.
The most rewarding part would have to be watching the relationships between the helpers and the athletes, getting to watch them kind of build relationships together, and then also seeing that translate to the student body as a whole.
The most rewarding thing about working with them is just seeing the smile on their faces and everyone coming together and everyone being happy and doing what they love.
The most rewarding part is every day. Every moment is rewarding for me, it's awesome. We come out here, we shoot hoops or we're either on the track, we're laughing and we're creating good memories. So really every moment is the most important moment for me.
Do you want to say anything? Go Homestead.
Go Homestead.
You can catch this awesome group of kids back on the court February 7th at home against Wayne. T-shirts will go on sale starting Monday. They'll be $10 and sold at all lunch mods. These T-shirts are for the Wayne game, and they will also serve as your ticket into the Carroll game on February 17th.
Last weekend proved to be a special weekend for the girls basketball team. On Friday, the Spartans clinched their second straight SAC Conference Championship by beating Northside 100-17. And senior Krista McLaughlin set a school record by going for 40 points and hitting 12 three-pointers. And on Saturday night, the 4 senior girls were recognized in their final home regular season game. When it's all said and done, these girls will be the winningest players over 4 years in school history. Good luck to all Homestead athletes participating this weekend. That's all for this edition of the Sports Corner. I'm Austin Render. Have a great weekend, Homestead.
Well, that wraps up this edition of HHS In Depth. I'm Madison McConaughey.
And I'm Colin Davis. Thank you for watching today.
And now here are this week's Pictures of the Week. Congratulations to senior Austin Garrett and sophomore Ala J. Hawthorne for having theirs selected.
To have your photo in the running for Picture of the Week, just email us a high-resolution photo in landscape mode with your name and grade level to hhsindepth@gmail.com.
Today we leave you with a song exclusive to our radio station, The Point 91 FM.
Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.
It starts right now.